If you're listening to me now, I don't have advice in the way people expect. I only have what my life has taught me. Strength is not the absence of hardship. It's not the number of years you collect. It's the stubborn tenderness of continuing to care, continuing to look around you, continuing to stay present even when the world feels heavy. So if I have a secret, it's this: stay willing to be part of life, even when it hurts, even when it changes, even when it feels like you've seen too much. Keep reaching for the small things that make a day worth living. That's how I've stayed strong. And if you're still here with me, listening, I hope you find your own way to keep going, one honest moment at a time. When you reach my age, people expect some kind of mystical secret, as if I've been hiding a magic seed in my pocket for a century. They think longevity must come from perfect discipline or expensive habits or some special brand of stubbornness. But when I look back over the years, the truth feels much simpler and far less glamorous. Strength, at least in my life, has always been something quieter, something that hums in the background rather than announces itself. I grew up on a little patch of land in the foothills of North Carolina. My father worked the soil, and my mother worked everything else. We didn't have much, but we had enough. And as a boy, I thought the world was made of dirt roads, creek water, and the smell of my mother's cornbread cooling by the window. Life was predictable, though not always easy. I don't remember thinking about strength back then. I just thought about making it through each day with my hands scraped from climbing trees and my head full of questions. My first real lesson in endurance came when I was 12, the year my father's back gave out. He couldn't lift the plow, couldn't work the rows, and suddenly the family looked to me. I was small, and the earth didn't care about my size. I pushed through those fields anyway, every step feeling heavier than the last. It wasn't noble or heroic. It was necessary. And that's something I learned early. Necessity teaches you what your body and mind are truly capable of, long before you think of calling it strength. Years later, I found myself standing at the train station with a duffel bag slung over my shoulder, heading off to join the workforce, like so many young men in the 40s. I worked on factory floors that rattled your bones and smelled of metal and grease. I married a woman named Lillian who could outlaugh a thunderstorm. We built a life with 3 children, each one loud and curious in their own way. I worked long days, and she worked longer ones, raising those kids into people we were proud of. Strength in those years looked like showing up every morning whether you felt like it or not, and coming home tired but willing to listen to the stories your children saved just for you. But the shape of strength changes over time. When Lillian passed, I thought mine had run out. After sharing more than 60 years with someone, the world becomes a quieter, emptier place overnight. I remember waking up the morning after her funeral, sitting on the edge of the bed, and realizing that no amount of physical endurance had prepared me for that kind of loneliness. I had always assumed strength meant holding yourself together, keeping a stiff back and a steady gaze. But grief taught me something different. It taught me that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is let yourself feel every bit of the hurt without trying to pretend you're made of stone. As the years went on, people began to call me resilient, as if I'd made some grand choice to outlast everything and everyone. Truth is, aging happens whether you want it to or not. What you do with the years is the only part you get a say in. I've watched friends fade away, watched my own body slow down, watched the world turn into something far noisier and faster than the one I grew up in. But I made a quiet decision a long time ago. I wouldn't spend the time I had left resisting the changes I couldn't stop. That doesn't mean accepting everything with a smile. It means choosing not to waste strength on bitterness. People often ask how I've kept my body strong, but the truth is, I haven't always been strong. I have aches in places I didn't know could ache. My knees don't trust me the way they used to, and I move slower than the old clock in my hallway. But I've stayed curious. That may sound small, but curiosity does something to you. It keeps the spirit moving, even when the body complains. I read the newspaper each morning. I ask my grandchildren about their strange new devices. I sit outside and listen to the chickens in the neighbor's yard, as if their chatter were some kind of daily sermon. Staying strong, to me, has been less about preserving what once was, and more about staying open to the life I still have. There were years when I thought strength meant being unbreakable. I don't believe that anymore. I've been broken plenty of times. The secret, if you want to call it that, is that I never let the breaking be the final part of the story. I gave myself the time to mend, sometimes slowly, sometimes imperfectly. And each time I learned that being strong doesn't mean resisting the cracks. It means living on with them. Now at 108, I wake up each morning and give thanks for one simple thing: another chance. Not another chance to achieve some grand dream or prove anything to anyone, but another chance to notice something good, something small, something worth holding on to. Strength grows from those moments more than from anything grand.